Remember, the enemy has only images and illusions, behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and you will break the enemy.
Why is it okay for only women and gay men to live in their truth? If a man faked being heterosexual his whole life, even if he had a wife, and even if he had children with that wife, if later on in life he came out and said, I'm gay, I've been in the closet, now I want to live my life as a gay man, he's living in his truth. Y'all get behind him 100%.
If you're any fan of movies, and I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say this, one of the most visually stunning movie-making scenes ever filmed was the mirror scene from Enter the Dragon. I do believe the scene was put into the film to teach not just Lee, the main character, but the people watching that the illusion of things can trick you. But if you are only living in a world of illusions and never really break the glass to see what the actual truth is, those illusions are real to you. I didn't think that social media was quote unquote real, or what I would say is, if you had asked me before maybe this last couple of days, do I think social media is real? I would say on some occasions I think it's real, sometimes it's not. But seeing how many people, and specifically young ladies, are focused on trying to get some kind of retribution for Klay Thompson has taught me social media, or dare I say the room of mirrors, is real to many of these young ladies.
Question, and I need you to answer fast. Where's Taylor Swift list? Where's her meme? Where's Ariana Grande's meme? Where's Kim Kardashian's meme? No, because I need to know, especially Taylor Swift, because when Travis Kelce ended up getting with her, all I kept hearing was that he upgraded.
The word on town been out about Shorty, like her nickname used to be 2 cups of Henny. Facts. That's what I heard. It says, yo, 2 cups of Henny. I never even met Meg. How I know this? This is the word. This is the water cooler talk. Oh, her? 2 cups of Henny, dog. 2 cups of Henny.
No, because I need to know, especially Taylor Swift, because when Travis Kelce ended up getting with her, all I kept hearing was that he upgraded. This woman has a history of a lot of men in the industry that she's allegedly been with. Where is her meme? Why no man was saying that Ariana Grande don't deserve for nobody to take her serious? She be taking people men, allegedly. All right, what's Kim Kardashian had a whole sex tape. I didn't see y'all telling Kanye don't wife it. And even if you did, it wasn't nothing like what y'all doing with Meg. At this point, I'm going to have to believe that this is because she's black.
If a woman is a professional athlete or whatever, not a professional athlete, a lawyer, attorney, whatever, and she's been with men and she loves men, and then all of a sudden she decides that she don't want to be with men anymore and she wants to be with another woman, y'all back her 100% because she's living in her truth, right? But if Klay Thompson tells Megan Thee Stallion, I don't know if I could be monogamous, he's not allowed to live in his truth.
It looked like to me that Megan was just some work for him during the season to get him through the season.
If you're like me, you probably are reaching or have already reached your wits' end of this Klay Thompson talk, but it has revealed a couple of things. One of them, of course, is that many young ladies live in a glass house of mirrors that is reinforcing many of the things that they want to hear on social media, which leads me back to my point of, is it real? To those young ladies, yes, it is. When social media tells them they can go out and date who they want and be with who they want to be with, and body count doesn't matter, then they do that, and then they get back on social media and they hear more of that and they go out and do more of that. The second thing I believe that's happening in this whole Klay Thompson quote unquote dust up is that some of those mirrors are getting cracked. If you're someone who looks in the mirror every day and you don't care about the cracks, you just find the parts of the mirror that aren't cracked and keep doing what you're doing. But if you're some of the more casual users of social media and you have been privy to these conversations of you're single to you're married, don't let your husband stop you from finding your love of your life or whatever, all of these memes that are basically telling young ladies you can do what you want, when you want, with your body, however way you feel, and at the end of it, you deserve a high value man. Well, guys are looking at that and saying, well, if your truth is your truth, then is it just for you? And the consistency is just not there.
But I just stumbled across this picture of, I have to post it just for context and conversation, of Megan Thee Stallion being bent over by a line of rappers or people that she's known to have fucked, been involved with romantically or otherwise, among other things. And let me tell you something. Megan Thee Stallion can fuck anybody she wants to fuck.
She's a 304. She's a 304. Good. She's experienced. Why do you want to be with somebody that's bad at sex? Why do you want to be with somebody you gotta teach sex to? That's kind of weird. Yeah, but her body count. The only niggas that, in my experience, care about body count are niggas that ain't fucking like that.
Many of you, same men, same straight black men, were calling Klay Thompson a simp, called him everything under the sun when you thought he was treating Megan well.
It's like this weird concept that after Shorty has had sex with multiple people, like, did she not shower after these niggas? Or like, did she not get tested after these niggas? Like, what's the issue?
Just to realize when he was basic and ain't shit and was discovered to be that way based on him cheating on Meg, suddenly he's your bro. He's your family. He's the one who you really appreciate, as if you were not just dissing him for being a light-skinned fuckboy along the way, but because y'all have something in common, which is the disrespect of black women and the mistreatment of black women. Suddenly y'all boys. Suddenly y'all homies. The wildest thing to me.
Especially don't understand the niggas that are like, you want to fuck me on the first date? I hate you. If you fuck me on the first date, I'm probably gonna like you more. How low is your opinion of yourself that if somebody fucks you, you look at them like they're bad?
And I just really want y'all to just be honest and say, you're happy that Klay is single. Not that Meg is single. Because we know misogyny is real. We know it abounds. But we also know homoeroticism is real. And a lot of y'all straight black men secretly want Klay.
Yeah, you niggas need to decolonize your ideas around sex, sexuality, and especially women's sexuality.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has now come to the time that we have a conversation. I have been saying for years on this show that black men need to have a conversation, black men alone. We have got to figure out what is going on with us. This is not something that black women can help us with. This conversation does not include black women. Black women, stand down and stand to the side. Black men need to have a kumbaya amongst themselves, and I'm gonna niche this out a little more. And it's heterosexual black men.
This is the kind of conversation that many young ladies are privy to on a daily basis. They go online and have many different people tell them that anyone that has a problem with your past and your body count is weak, that a real man doesn't care about your sexual past, that a real man is going to not only not care about your sexual past, but he's going to enter your life, forget about anything that you've done with whomever you've done it with, and they're going to immediately pay all of your bills, or they're not a real man. And as you can see, it's a house of mirrors because it's not grounded in reality, and that is going to be very apparent here.
I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this, but I'm gonna say it out loud with my whole chest. Straight black men are the cancer of the black community. That's where it starts and that's where it stops. Ladies, I'm here to tell y'all something. All this shit that y'all got going on, some of y'all, not all of y'all, with the gays and with the trans, let it go. Your issue is not a trans woman. Your issue is not a punk or not a Your issue is all of our issue. Straight black men. Straight black men are the enemy to the gays. Straight black men are the enemy to the trans. Straight black men are who are causing harm to the girls and the women. That's where it's at.
If you're a young, well-meaning man coming into this conversation, you're not privy to the fact that you're in a room full of mirrors, you're thinking, not only am I not doing a good job being a man myself, but I have to do a better job of policing other straight black men, because straight black men are what's keeping everyone from succeeding in the black community. Not the fact that young ladies have the free will to make decisions with their bodies, and of course there are outcomes that come from that, or even the mental and emotional outcomes. It's not that. It's that you as a man is not doing enough, and you need to step up. And that room full of mirrors can be overwhelming if you're not ready for it.
But you'll never see a situation where girls and women walking around saying they scared of the gay boys. They scared of their life for the gay boys. They don't want to be around the gay boys. It ain't us going around with these fragile ass egos, can't take rejection. We've got to ask ourselves, and I don't even know if the black straight male collective can even answer this question, because their egos tend to be so fragile. How is it we are raising boys with these fragile ass egos that feel it is okay to slam girls on their head for saying no? Why is it that we have to make the females of the community make all the adjustments? It's not fair. Straight black men are the cancer of the black community.
You have offended my family, and you have offended the Shaolin Temple.
If you're a well-meaning, upstanding member of the quote-unquote heterosexual black men who are the cancer of the black community, your knee-jerk response would be to run into this quote-unquote room full of mirrors and try and teach the truth to the mirrors. You feel an obligation to not only more police your own behavior, but to police the behavior of other heterosexual black men who are supposed to be performing a function that apparently they're not. But if you think deeper, the point of the room itself is not to garner the truth. It is to show you a certain illusion so that you, as a quote-unquote heterosexual black man who is the cancer of the black community, will perform in a certain way that is a benefit to someone besides yourself. Because what other reason would you have for not wanting to sit down and discuss the truth? But the issue, of course, is that with this Klay Thompson situation, it has become so blatantly obvious that it's a room full of mirrors that the mirrors themselves are cracking. And when they start cracking, you get people like Ed Lover saying, you can't see that crack in that mirror right there? Your argument isn't sound and it's not equal.
But if Klay Thompson tells Megan Thee Stallion, I don't know if I could be monogamous, he's not allowed to live in his truth. If Neo decides that he doesn't want just one woman, he wants 3 or 4 women, that's his lifestyle choice. Isn't he living in his truth? So ask yourself that question. Why aren't we as men allowed to live in our truth? Why do you say you want the truth, and then when a man tells you the truth, you don't want to hear the truth? If a man tells you, I'm not sure if I can be monogamous, isn't that him living in his truth? Isn't it? Why is it like that? Why is there a double standard between men and women and who can live in their truth? That's one thing that I will never understand. You will always back a man that comes out, is gay, and says he's living in his truth. One of the saddest things about the Luther Vandross documentary is his friends saying that Luther can never come out and live in his truth. Right? But when a man wants to have multiple women and says, I'm not trying to be monogamous, I don't know if I can be monogamous, I can't be monogamous. Oh, he greedy. Maybe that's his truth. Maybe it's his truth. Why can't men live in their truth the way we want to live in our truth? Why do we always have to live in our truth the way you want us to live in our truth? But it's okay for you to live in your truth any way you see fit. Anyway, you can be gay for a little while, then come back to men and be straight for a little while, and then go back to women again. But that's you living in your truth, right? But if we decide to live in our truth by saying we can't be monogamous, or we don't know if we can be monogamous, we're not allowed to live in our truth. Come on, son.
The interesting thing about the fight between Lee and Han at the end of Enter the Dragon is that Han knew from the beginning that he could not beat Lee, so the only thing he could do was to confuse him and use indirect attacks, try and disorient him and try and get him off guard. If he fought him straight up, or should I say when he did fight him straight up, I mean, it was no match. But that's essentially what we're having here. If you're trying to have a conversation about the 50% plus of black men who don't have any children, are not breaking the law, are not in jail, are going about their lives as regular straight up taxpayers, and those men cannot find wives, it's much easier to tell the young ladies that are looking up to Meg Thee Stallion that she's living her life the way she wants to live it, and when it's time for her to settle down, or when she chooses to, no man has any right at all to have any issue with her past or what she's done with herself, and he should be loyal to her. Instead of having the conversation that, hey, there are plenty of stand-up men, maybe they're not rich or rich just yet, and they're looking for someone to build a family with or to enjoy their lives with, and for any relationship slash family slash community slash racial group slash the black community to work, both sides have to assume a responsibility in making it work. That is not very popular, and that is not an argument or a conversation that will be had in the room full of mirrors. But what we are seeing is that the mirrors are starting to get cracks in them. And even people that are not normal speakers on these gender war, whatever you want to call it, are entering the conversation. They're noticing that if Meg Thee Stallion can shake her thing and do what she wants to do with whomever, then why can't Klay Thompson do the same thing? Why is it that Klay Thompson has to be Russell Wilson 2.0? He has to be faithful just to her, and she is the best woman that he's ever met. It just doesn't add up. And now I think the third issue that is what is so interesting about this Klay Thompson dilemma is that young ladies themselves are starting to see that the world around them are not acquiescing to that argument that's being had in that room full of mirrors. And what we're starting to see now is fear. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.